going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Scene Podcast. My name is Craig Smith. Tonight, I got another big-time high school head coach, a guy from East Texas, now at Allen High School, Coach Sip Billetta. What's going on, man?
Man, living the dream. How are you?
Doing good, man. I feel like I was just with you, man.
Yeah.
So you just finished your first year at Allen?
Yep.
You went 23-12. I think y'all lost to a very good team by 4 points in the second round of the playoffs, which a lot of people were following because Allen is known for upsetting big-time teams. They did that on their way to winning state a few years ago. Talk to us about your first season there.
Man, I thought it was a good one. You know, you're coming in, you have 8 seniors on the team. That's not an easy transition. And then you got a group of young guys who are really talented. So trying to find a blend between young talent and then some of those older guys. And, you know, I thought we got hot early in the year. I think we were picked 5th in district, not even picked to make the playoffs. So I know they lost Ian from last year, which was at Bucknell, and lost Mason. So they lost some key pieces. So I think, quote unquote, this is a down year for Allen, you know, coming into it. But, man, our kids really bought in. Our senior leadership was good. And I just thought the later in the season we started playing, the better we got. And, you know, that's when you could really see a difference when we started finding our roles with players and them starting to understand the culture. But, you know, Allen's an amazing place, and, you know, I'm blessed to be here.
Yeah, and you had a kid in Miles Gibson who I think bloomed during that summer. He started with the Southern Assault B team,
right,
and then he moved to the Max Levels team, and I think people really got to see what he was really about. Obviously, Mason Gibson's little brother, but he's about 4 inches taller, 4 or 5 inches taller,
at least. Yeah.
With the same crazy athletic ability. And then you have a ton of guards.
Right.
So getting that team to play, y'all play in a good district with Prosper, McKinney, you had Little Elm,
loaded,
Geyer. Obviously, we know who they are. Talk to us about trying to get those kids to all buy in. And, you know, I mean, it's probably not the season. Well, it probably is the season y'all wanted to have. Talk to us about that.
You know, it always ends too soon unless you win it all. You know, we're a hungry team, and we always want to play for a state championship. That's why we sign up for this. But, you know, just you come in, you got to set up a culture. And I thought our kids did such an amazing job in accepting me, accepting my staff, understanding our vision and what it's going to take to be successful. And then our guys got after it every single day. And like you said, we had a ton of guards, and it was super competitive. But each week I could see us getting better and better. And Miles Gibson, who you were talking about, you know, we really jumped on his shoulders, and he carried us a lot of ways. And when I first got the job, that's the first kid I had a conversation with. And I told him, you know, man, your senior year, I'm going to make it as special as possible. But in return, you're going to have to lead us, and you're going to have to get guys to buy in, and you're going to have to be the leader and the captain of this team. And once again, he's kind of a quiet by nature kid, but his hard work, his competitive spirit, that really took off. And I think that set the tone for our season. So, man, we have the ball. Actually, Richardson has the ball with about 10 seconds left, and the kid going to Kentucky. It's a tie ball game, and, you know, what can you say? He's a great player. But once again, our culture, our kids, man, they gave us a chance. So, man, that's all you can ask for at the end of the night.
Talk to me about how you got started, man. What high school did you go to? Where did you grow up at? All that stuff. How you got to Sulphur Springs?
Man, that's a great question. So now I started in New London, Texas. Small town, 900 people. It was a big basketball community. They were very successful at basketball when I was growing up. So just loved the game of basketball. I was a big time baseball kid growing up, but something about basketball really stuck with me. And I love kind of being the underdog, and I love working on my craft. So basketball is really my first love. So I went to Laterno out of high school to play. That was a short stint. Ended at SFA, and then I didn't know where I was going to go. I had a job at Bullard, Texas at the time, and right before the school year started, that got wiped away. They got a new AD and a new basketball coach. So it's like August 1st, and I don't have a job right out of college. And I applied for the Sulphur Springs first assistant job, and they didn't give it to me. Now we need somebody with a little bit more experience. So about a day later, I think it was like August 2nd, they called me with a junior high job. And at the time, I'm like, man, I'm too good to do junior high, but it was the best thing for me. And I was at the junior high for 1 year. The next year, I transitioned to the freshman coach. Next year, I was the JV coach. And then by my 4th year, they tossed me the keys. And it was so great for me. This town of Sulphur Springs, I really call it my home. And, it was beneficial in my growth. It really helps when you don't have a lot of pressure on you when you're a head coach. It wasn't a basketball town. They were very unsuccessful, in the previous years. So I got to fail a lot. I got to try things that the pressure of winning, a lot of guys don't get to try. And I really got to build my culture and build my identity through just trying random stuff and what worked, what didn't work, and tweaking it. And man, it's got me here to where I am today. So I owe a ton to Sulphur.
And in your 7 years of being a head coach there, you were 150-82, and then the last 5 seasons you won 131 games and only lost 40. So it wasn't a basketball town, but you made it that way. Talk to us about that. I mean, the transition. What was Sulphur Springs known for? Football?
Football. They won state in 2008. I think when I got there, they didn't win a district game for 4 years in basketball. So it was really a laughing stock. Yeah. I can remember the first game I went to, there was like 20 people in the stands. It was really a laughing stock. And I don't mean that negatively on the kids that were there before, but you could just tell there wasn't a pride about the school and about basketball. And man, coaches used to make fun of me because I was like the only basketball guy. Like even in the school, I felt like they called me, "Hey, Thump Thump," and I said, "Man, this is going to be a basketball school." But by the time I get done with it, and and it happened when I got a buy-in from kids. The kids won the record. I didn't win no games. The kids, the Keystons, the Day-Days, the Xaviers, those guys were 5th and 6th graders when I got the head job, and man, I sold them a vision and opened the gym all the time, and those guys just lived in the gym and. They wanted to be college basketball players, and we explained what it took. And man, they just worked as hard as they could every single day they could, and then they built it really into what it is today.
And talk to us about a lot of those kids, man. I went on a little rant on Twitter just so I could make sure that people understand where you come from. But yeah, talk about some of those kids, and I mean, I didn't even name the kids that left their senior year that you would have had. And that team probably would have ran a table. But talk about those kids, man.
So Keyston would be my first one. So he came to me. He was the first kid that came to me and said, "Hey, Coach Sip, I want to be a college basketball player." I said, "All right, dude, I'm gonna pick you up every morning at 5:30." We're talking about like a 7th grader. I said, "Every morning, I'm gonna pick you up at 5:30. If you're about this life, you're gonna get up game shots, game spots, game speed every single day." I'm telling you, the kid did that from his 7th grade year to his senior year. We could get home. It could be 2:00 in the morning after a win or a loss, and the kid's still going to make 1,000 shots in that day. Like he was just religious with going to the gym, and it just became who he was, part of his DNA. So his freshman year, we were terrible. My first year, actually, it was my 2nd year. He was an 8th grader my first year. So his freshman year, we were terrible. I think we won like 8 games, but I threw him in the fire. And all of a sudden, he got newcomer of the year, and everybody got to see him work and could see him grow, and you could see why he was in that position. So it just really took off. All the other guys started to buy in, and then you get Day-Days and you get X's who live in the gym and just get better and better. Man, I've coached so many great players. You got Day-Day that's at SFA. He might be the most well-rounded kid I've ever coached, the most competitive kid, the most winning kid. The kid is just a flat-out winner. He is, and I tell college coaches all the time. They would hit me up and say, "Man, I don't know what position Day is. You know, he's small." I said, "The dude's a winner. You put him on the court, he's going to put the ball in the bucket. He's going to give you a chance to win."
And he's like he kind of reminds me of Draymond Green.
He is 100%.
Just because he's like he's yeah, you don't know what position he is, but just put him on the court.
Put him on, and I can remember we would go play like Jalen Wilson and those guys who were 4 stars, 5 stars, and this dude did not care. He'd give them 30 in a heartbeat and just was so competitive and played with such a chip on his shoulder, you know. And that whole team did. You had Xavier, who to me, he didn't even play until his senior year. So a lot of people don't know that about X. His junior year, he sat the bench the whole year because you had Victor, who was at OU, now at UNLV. You had Gigi in front of him. You had some of those other guys. But X got to go against those guys every single day in practice. And X got his butt kicked every single day in practice. So when his time came to shine, like, the dude was ready. I mean, you look at him now, he might arguably be having a better career, you know, than a lot of them. And that's not taking anything away from the others. Like, the kid just kept getting better and better, kept getting bigger and bigger. So, you know, you have Cameron Kahn, who's a 6'6", Draymond type 2. You know, he can pass, he can post you, just super tough. Man, I've been blessed. Jeremiah Rowland, I had LJ, I had Grayson, who might be one of the best shooters I've ever coached. Could have went and played college basketball, but G could shoot it, man. But you had a group who just lived in the gym, and then they gave themselves a chance, and they loved each other, and they loved to compete. And man, once again, I was just blessed to coach some amazing dudes.
And you talk about not being a basketball school when you got there, and you wanted to make it that way. You obviously did. Yeah. And I remember, I mean, when I started this, I didn't really see y'all play until probably when y'all went to Geyer.
Yeah.
And y'all played Geyer out there, but your fans out in Sulphur Springs travel.
Yeah.
And I mean, they don't care where they have to go. They're huddling up and they're going. Talk about getting it to that level, because I mean, I specifically remember the playoff game when y'all played at Forney, and everybody was there.
Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah, talk about that, man.
And that was really special. So I can remember the first game I coached as a head coach. I look up in the stands and literally 22 people were there, and there was just no pride. And to be like, people want to see winners, and I get it. Like, you know, if you're not successful, it's hard for people to come out. But once we started showing pride in the program, and you had kids that were buying in, and then when kids buy in, the family has to be behind them to buy in as well. It just steamrolled, and all of a sudden, you know, Victor moves in. You get Gigi who moves in, and that made us better a lot quicker with those guys. And man, it just shot through the roof, and then it kept breeding itself. And then man, all of a sudden you look up and you can't even get a ticket to a Sulphur Springs game. We go to the Coolidge Colwell Center and we sell out the entire section. We go down to the Alamo Dome, and it's like a sea of blue. So that was one of the most unique things and most special things you could ever be a part of. And the community just supported our players and just would do anything in the world for those guys and for me too. So man, you'll never feel like that, you know, until you're in that situation.
Yeah. Talk to me about what kind of city Sulphur Springs is, man.
Just a country town.
Because a lot of people don't get in their car and go an hour and a half to watch a Sulphur Springs game. I mean, I was blessed when y'all got Chick-fil-A, because I had somewhere to sit for about 3 hours.
Yeah.
But man, talk about what kind of town Sulphur Springs is.
So the first time I roll up to Sulphur Springs, I've never heard of it before. They just, hey, you got an interview here, and I would drive anywhere for an interview, you know, when you're a college kid. So I pull up to the school, and in front of the school, you have 2 20-foot statues of 2 cows. I said, where am I? So it's like the dairy capital of the world at one point. So it's a super country town. I call it the Bible Belt of the world. It's a super religious place. Man, you can put God first everywhere. So that was amazing because we could really, you know, teach that aspect. And that was a part of our culture as well. But just a cool country town where people would give you the shirt off their back, has a cool little downtown feel with some They really upgraded it with some nice restaurants. Finally got a Chick-fil-A, so it's growing, but also it's not going to grow that much. It's still far enough outside the DFW area, but man, once again, just a place I call home, and it's a wonderful place.
Let's talk about that 2019 state run, man. Y'all beat Midlothian by 5.
Yep.
Lufkin by 12. You beat a good fundamental team. I don't know how they seem to do it every year, but Highland Park does it every year.
Coach Pila,
yeah, I mean I went to Poteet, so I've been watching them play since I was since 2002. I got blessed with being able to watch Matthew Stafford when he put it on us in 2005. And then that was the year that Lone Star beat Lancaster
at the buzzer. Yep.
With Marvin Mims and
man, they had a ton. Isaiah. They had 2 or 3 guards.
Yeah.
One went to Indiana
State.
Yeah. And 6'8" lefty.
Man, and you get that game, and y'all make it to state, man. Talk to us about that run.
So it belongs in a movie. It's such a special story, and man, it's just it's something I'll never experience again. That unique of a situation. So a little background before. So we lose the year before, triple overtime to Prosper regional quarterfinals, and we're returning everybody. I mean,
Julian Larry.
Yeah, there you go, Julian
Larry. I don't know why. His mom is the nicest person I've ever met in my life.
Man, he was so good. But so we returned everybody off of a team that went 3 rounds deep, lost in triple overtime, probably should have won that game, kind of gave it away at the end. So we're super excited. Like, we're top 3 in the state. And right before the season starts, man, I had 3 Division I high-level dudes move off. And it's just like gut-wrenching, right? Because I love those kids. Victor, I actually just worked out Gigi, like right before we got on this podcast. He's up here with me. And then Michael Jefferson, who were just fantastic kids. We loved them. Dad got a job, and Waco moves off. So, man, you could tell like there was a gut-wrenching moment. And I went into the locker room, and I'm just fired up. Shippy, I'm like, hey, guys, I don't give a crap. Like, this is what people are saying about you. We had people on Facebook, man, they're done. Those 2 kids made their program. I said, no, man, you guys made our program. All of us together. And I just kept saying, what now? How are we going to respond? Are you going to let this write our story, or are we just going to make a magic moment? And, man, our kids just bought into that. And what people didn't realize, like, we still had a whole lot of talent left on that team. Even though those 3 kids left, man, we still had 4 high-level, 5. Actually, all 5 of those guys went to play college basketball. So, man, it was like the first district game. So we're rolling. Man, we beat Rockwall. They ranked number 2 in the state that year, second game of the year. At our place, we go and play Geyer. It's a close game. We beat DeSoto by like 25 that year. So like all of a sudden we're showing up, right? And then district gets here. First district game, Keystone breaks his foot. I'm like, oh my gosh! Like, and then like 2 games later, Day gets a concussion. He misses 7 games. Then X breaks his toe. So I'm missing my 3 arguably best players all of district. So if you go look at our district scores, we went undefeated in district. We won district, and I don't know how. We won 2 games at the buzzer. I mean, it was just like our kids just refused to lose. And like Grayson and Boo and some of those guys, they were younger and just stepped up. And we thought we lost Keystone for the whole year. So Day comes back, X comes back, and Keystone's going to have surgery on his foot. And they're like, hey, you can wait to have surgery. You can play on a broken foot. So he hasn't practiced. He hasn't played the game since the first district game. And we plug him into the John Tyler game. I mean, everybody thinks he's out, comes out, has like 32. I said, Keystone, like, tell me if you need a breather. They said, no, it can't hurt it, so and just locks him up. So and that just carried us all the way through. Once again, that group I've never had a group that just refused to lose. Like, backs against the wall, no matter what's thrown at them, like, dudes, we're going to compete and find a way. And really got all the way to the state semifinals, played a really good Wagner team, and really didn't play well in the first half, climbed back. It was like a 4-point game with like a minute to go. And just couldn't get over that hump. But once again, like those guys are such winners, and man, the reason I am where I am today, man, I've had some really good teams, and that was a special group.
Now, you talked about your faith earlier, man. Is it okay if we talk about that?
100%. That's what I'm about. 100%.
Talk about it, man, because I love it.
No, man, God first and all I do. Like I'm so blessed. People call it lucky, and man, God has given me favor, and I don't know why. Like I'm very fortunate to be where I am today, and I try to put God first in all I do, and and that's the center point, and my kids know that, and I'll talk about it, and I don't push my faith on anybody, especially here in Allen. It's very diverse, and I'm very sensitive in understanding that. But once again, when it comes to me and what I'm about, and my centerpiece, it's Jesus, and once again, I want to be where I am without him today, and at Sulphur, we really got to display that. I mean, on our shirts, you can have one God, one team, one dream, type of stuff. So now, once again, I'll never, throw that on anybody or force that. But if given the opportunity to talk about them, once again, it's what I'm all about.
All right, so you're in Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about some things that you want to make sure that you do there to have the same success that you had at Sulphur Springs.
Yeah, so it's all about our culture, and our culture is team over everything. So just understanding what TOE means and how to play as a team. And playing as a team means more than just ball movement. It's the way we talk to each other. It's the way we show up every day. It's that selfless love that you show up with constantly. It's being there on time. It's cheering somebody on. It's picking up a teammate. It's having enthusiasm every day. It's not having a bad day. It's me putting in shots so that my brothers can be successful. It's me doing my job. It's me taking care of the classroom. So a lot goes into that, and just getting them to buy into that as well. And then the growth piece is huge for us. So I'll tell everybody, I'm not a good enough coach not to win with gym rats. I wish I could roll up and y'all just, y'all are here during the school period and I can win with that. I can't. And you guys aren't going to reach your dreams doing that either. So I need guys who are dedicated, who are going to show up, who after we get done working are still going to put in work. And we're going to design a plan to do that and teach you guys how to do that. But you guys got to want it as well. And you can tell that's really taken off. I mean, it's 8:30. I'm still up here and guys are in the gym shooting. So you could tell like that infectious spirit of getting better and becoming a team is really starting to take off. And it's baby steps. We talk about it all the time. We're just trying to lay one brick at a time, and we're not focused on the big picture. We don't have goals. We focus on being the best we can today. And if we're the best we can every day, winning and all that other stuff will just become a side effect.
Talk about some things that you want your parents to know also. Like, hold on. Let's go back to Sulphur Springs.
Okay.
Tell us what kind of coaches were in your gym trying to get your players.
Anybody and everybody. I tell it, everybody but Coach K and Coach Cal, pretty much. Beard. You had, Texas was there, Michigan. I was so blessed to once again have great players. So now I can almost pick up the phone and call any Power 5 or any coach. They're going to answer, from the Techs, from the Texases, from the Oklahomas, from who is who. Has been in our gym. I felt like there was 20 coaches every single day in the gym, and we're trying to get that to Allen, and we have a good young group, and we have a really talented group, and we have the ability to get there. But once again, it's just baby steps, and trying to get our guys out there into that. But once again, that was some of the coolest experiences, getting to talk to those guys and pick those guys' brains. And now I can call them up, and we can talk hoops, or I can go watch practices. But once again, I had to have good players in the first place to be able to do that, which I had.
And then talk to us about okay, now I go back to my question about what you would want parents to understand about you, and that you are not just a high school basketball coach. You know the 530 stories with Keaston. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I think sometimes high school coaches get like this is like we're just getting paychecks sometimes, or you hear parents talk, and I hope they know that I'm going to do everything in my power. Like this is my life. I don't have hobbies. I wish I did. I wish I could fish. I wish I could play golf. I really don't. Like I live to make kids better. I live to impact kids. And once again, God has given me the love through the game of basketball in order to do that. So every single day of my life, I'm investing in trying to find ways to, one, build up your kid to become a better man. And then two, if he loves basketball, lead him that way as well. So as a coach and as a staff, and my assistant coaches are really good at this, Coach Fleming, Coach Manning, Coach Ochek, of if a kid wants to be up here, we're going to provide them every opportunity to have success. We will do anything in our power within the rules to help them be successful. And then we're going to love your kid ultimately. Like, we're going to hold your kid accountable every single day. We're going to expect a lot out of them. We're going to hold them to a high standard. But at the end of the day, we're going to love them, and we're going to treat them like he's our own. And, just every single day we're about that. And once again, this isn't just a job to me. I can make a lot more money doing something else. But this is my life and my passion and my dream to just, build kids up through the game of basketball.
And we all, I think I can speak for you when I say this. I mean, we all have women in our life that are one woman in our life.
Yeah,
that helps us be able to do what we love to do, because I know that I wouldn't be able to do anything I do basketball wise if my wife wasn't in my life.
100%. And my wife,
go ahead.
My wife is amazing. She's really, she's been in my corner. And from day one, we started dating. Like, I told her, hey, this is my dream and this is my mission in life. Like, God has given me a fire and a purpose to lead kids through the game of basketball. And I say it's not fair, but it's just how God designed me. I treat our basketball players just like I treat my own kids. And sometimes it's equal times. But in retrospect, my wife understands that I have a God-given purpose here on earth, and she supports me ultimately in our dreams. And the older my kids are getting, the more they're up here. Like, Boston comes, my little 5-year-old comes every single day in the morning with us to work out. So he's high-fiving the kids. So finding a way to coexist, both of those has really helped. But, man, I wouldn't be where I am today without, Lindsay. She's really she's the backbone of our family and, really holds it together.
All right, man. Well, I don't got nothing else for you, man. You did good.
I appreciate it, man. I just love to talk hoops. Anytime we get on here and chop it up, appreciate you guys and all the coverage. Like, I'm telling you, it's not just me who has had kids. It's from the AAU coaches to you guys getting them exposure, man. That's what we're about and the game's about. So appreciate all you guys do for our kids, man. You give us exposure, and we appreciate it.
Hey, man, you're a good dude. You're a good coach, and I know you're going to have the same success out there at Allen that you had at Sulphur Springs, man. I have no doubt.
I appreciate you.